I'm Maya, a struggling single mom working 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. I never thought serving coffee at a downtown cafe would change my life forever. But when billionaire Marcus Stone walked through those doors, broken and lost, I had no idea that showing him pure love would blow his mind completely. Let me paint you the picture of my crazy life. I'm 28, raising my 6-year-old daughter Emma on my own after her dad walked out when she was 2. We live in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment in downtown Chicago, and honestly, some nights I'd count pennies just to buy her cereal for breakfast. I was working 3 jobs: morning shift at Tony's Cafe, afternoon cleaning offices, and weekend nights at a convenience store. My hands were always cracked from the cleaning chemicals, my feet ached constantly, but Emma's smile made every exhausting day worth it. She'd draw me pictures of us together, happy, and I'd tape them on our fridge like they were million-dollar artwork. The American dream felt more like a nightmare most days, but I kept pushing forward because that's what moms do, right? Then this particular Tuesday morning happened. I was working the early shift at Tony's, this little cafe that serves construction workers and early commuters. The place smells like bacon grease and strong coffee, nothing fancy, but it paid my bills. That's when he walked in. Marcus Stone. Yeah, the Marcus Stone. You know, the billionaire tech mogul who's always on Forbes covers. Dude owns half the skyscrapers in Chicago. But here's the thing, he looked absolutely destroyed. His expensive suit was wrinkled, his eyes were red and puffy, and he was shaking like a leaf. Most people would have freaked out seeing a celebrity, especially one worth like $8 billion. But all I saw was a broken human being who needed help. He stumbled to a corner booth and just stared out the window like his world had ended. I grabbed the coffee pot and walked over. "Rough morning?" I asked, pouring him a cup without being asked. He looked up at me with these haunted eyes and whispered, "My son died yesterday." My heart absolutely shattered. I mean, what do you even say to that? This man had all the money in the world, but he'd lost the one thing that actually mattered. I could see in his face that he was drowning in grief, completely lost. I grabbed the coffee pot and walked over. "Rough morning?" I asked, pouring him a cup without being asked. He looked up at me with these haunted eyes and whispered, "My son died yesterday." My heart absolutely shattered. I mean, what do you even say to that? This man had all the money in the world, but he'd lost the one thing that actually mattered. I could see in his face that he was drowning in grief, completely lost. "I'm so sorry," I said, and I meant it. I'd lost my own mom when Emma was born, so I knew that crushing pain of losing someone you love more than life itself. That's when everything started to change between us. Marcus became a regular after that day, showing up every morning at exactly 7 a.m. He'd order black coffee and sit in that same corner booth, staring out at the busy street. The other customers would whisper and point. I mean, it's not every day a billionaire hangs out at a greasy spoon cafe. But here's what got me. He was so completely alone. This man who could buy anything, go anywhere, do anything, had nobody. His wife had left him years ago. He had no close friends, just business associates and people who wanted his money. I started bringing him fresh-baked muffins from home, the kind I made for Emma. At first, he wouldn't touch them, but slowly he began to trust me. We'd talk during my breaks, and I learned about his son Tyler, who was only 12 when cancer took him. "I gave him everything except what he actually wanted," Marcus told me one morning, tears streaming down his face. "He just wanted me to come to his soccer games, to help with homework, but I was always too busy building my empire." Those conversations broke my heart, but also brought us closer together. I'd tell him about Emma, how she'd dance around our tiny apartment pretending to be a princess, how she'd ask me why some kids had daddies and she didn't. One morning, Emma got sick, and I had to bring her to work with me. Tony usually doesn't allow kids, but I was desperate. I set her up in the back with coloring books, hoping she'd stay quiet. Marcus noticed her immediately. "Who's the little artist?" he asked, watching Emma color a picture of a rainbow. "That's my daughter Emma," I said nervously. "She's not feeling well and I couldn't find a sitter." Instead of being annoyed like I expected, Marcus's whole face lit up. He walked over to Emma and knelt down to her level. "What are you drawing, sweetheart?" Emma looked up with her big brown eyes and said, "A rainbow for my mommy because she works so hard and needs something pretty." I watched this billionaire, this man who controlled boardrooms and commanded respect worldwide, tear up over my 6-year-old's innocent words. From that day forward, Marcus would bring Emma little gifts. Not expensive stuff, just simple things like sticker books or crayons. He'd sit with her during my breaks, listening to her stories about school, laughing at her silly jokes. But the real turning point came 3 weeks later. Emma had been asking for a bike for months. All her friends had them, but I just couldn't afford one. I'd been saving every spare dollar, but it was going to take months to save enough. One Saturday morning, I brought Emma to the cafe for a quick breakfast before my shift. When we walked outside, there was a beautiful pink bike with training wheels and a big bow tied to it sitting right by my car. Emma screamed with joy, but I was freaking out. "Marcus, I can't accept this," I said when I saw him watching from across the street with this huge smile. "It's not from me," he said, walking over. "Santa's workshop had an early delivery." Emma threw her arms around his legs and said, "Thank you, Mr. Santa Marcus. Mommy, can he come to my birthday party?" Her birthday party, in our tiny apartment with dollar store decorations and a homemade cake? I was embarrassed. What would a billionaire think of our humble celebration? But Marcus's eyes filled with tears again. "I would be honored," he whispered. That party changed everything. Marcus sat on our old couch wearing a paper party hat that Emma insisted he put on. He helped her blow out the candles, played charades, and when she fell asleep in his lap while watching cartoons, I saw something in his face I'd never seen before. Pure joy, real happiness. "Maya," he said quietly, not wanting to wake Emma, "I haven't felt this happy since Tyler was alive. You and Emma, you've given me something I thought I'd lost forever." I was starting to fall for this man, this broken billionaire who found healing in my little girl's laughter. But I was scared. What could someone like me possibly offer someone like him? Climax 5:30 to 7:0, 320 words. The moment that blew Marcus away happened 2 weeks later, on what turned out to be the most emotional day of my life. I was working the morning shift when Marcus stumbled in, completely devastated. He'd just come from the cemetery. It was the 1-year anniversary of Tyler's death. He was sobbing uncontrollably, and every customer in the cafe was staring. I immediately went to him, not caring who was watching. "Marcus, what do you need?" I asked, kneeling beside his booth. "I can't do this anymore, Maya," he whispered. "The pain is too much. I've lost everything that mattered." My heart was breaking for this man I'd grown to love. And yes, love. I loved him, not for his money, not for his status, but for his broken heart and gentle soul. That's when I made the decision that changed everything. I looked him straight in the eyes and said, "Marcus, I love you. Not your money, not your empire, not your fame. I love you. Your broken heart, your tears, your laugh when Emma tells her silly jokes. You haven't lost everything. You've found us, and we're not going anywhere." The entire cafe went dead silent. This billionaire, this powerful man who commanded respect worldwide, started crying harder than I'd ever seen anyone cry. "But I have nothing left to give," he sobbed. I took his face in my hands and said, "You don't need to give me anything except your heart. Emma and I, we love you exactly as you are right now. Broken, hurting, and healing. That's what real love is." Marcus stared at me like I'd just performed a miracle. In his world of contracts and conditions, of people who only loved his wallet, hearing someone love him unconditionally was apparently revolutionary. "You would love me even if I lost everything?" he whispered. "I fell in love with you when you had nothing left," I said. "Your money never mattered to me." That pure love confession completely transformed Marcus's life, and mine too. 6 months later, he proposed to me and Emma together in that same cafe booth where we first met. He'd learned that real wealth isn't measured in dollars, but in love, laughter, and the family you choose. Marcus established the Tyler Stone Foundation in his son's memory, helping single parents like me get back on their feet. He still comes to the cafe every morning, but now Emma and I come with him, and we're a real family. He tells everyone that a struggling single mom saved his life with pure love, proving that sometimes the richest people are the ones with the biggest hearts. The American dream isn't always about climbing the ladder. Sometimes it's about helping someone else find their way back down to what really matters. If this story touched your heart, smash that like button, drop a comment about a time someone showed you pure love, and subscribe for more insane stories that prove love conquers everything. You won't believe what happens next week.